Hi there, guys. Here we are gonna be doing episode 6. I believe we're 11:55 p.m. So that's 5 minutes until I believe October 6th. So, anyways, we're gonna do a review of Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. But before we get on that, let's get into the two Hellraiser films pre Hellraiser 3. We got Hellraiser, and we have Children Corn. I've edited both of them in this multi-feature set, which I'm not really a big fan of this double feature. I much rather have my singular releases. But hey, this is out of print, I believe, so I'll just put it when in about 30 years, I'll put it in a nicer case and bring it and refurbish it and sell it for like about $50, hopefully. Um, I'm a big fan of the original Hellraiser, and also I was talking with Scott Sanderson, who's a nice guy who allowed me the opportunity to do reviews for this channel, and I really thank him for that. And I believe that he's a big fan of the Hellraiser franchise. Yeah, because me and him have went into some discussions about the Hellraiser series, and yeah, I think he's a big fan, so I think he will like this one, like this review. Hopefully, and hopefully everybody likes it. Well, not everybody, because you need to have a few people that don't like your stuff in order to expel your creative juices. Anyways, I like the first Hellraiser film. I thought that was a pretty solid film. Pretty solid film. It's it just the whole tone and atmosphere is like just full of dread. It just has a sense of dread about it. A sense of dread about it, and it's not typically a fun film to watch. It's not. It's not a fun film to watch, but it's a solidly made horror film and it's really good. It's a really good horror film. Then you have Hellraiser 2 Hellbound. I understand that Newt doesn't like this one. I like it. I'd say that this is a pretty solid entry. I wouldn't say that's my favorite out of all the Hellraiser films. I wouldn't say that's my favorite out of the Hellraiser films, but I think it's a pretty solid film. And I say that it fits with Hellraiser 1 very well, very well, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that this film is up there with the same quality as the first Hellraiser, and it's just a good made movie. I'm trying to see if these are directed by the same. Oh, the first Hellraiser by Clay Barker. This is by Tony Randall. And this is a good film. Then we get to Hellraiser 3, which is right there. And another reason I got this, other than I have a few other reasons why I got this, but the main reason, so I got some new films to review for fuckers. 31 Days of Cream Horror Goodness, and yeah, and have Hellraiser 3 on temporarily until Echo Bridge, till fucking Echo Bridge Home Entertainment gets off their ass and makes a Blu-ray. Cause I'm not a big fan of the DVD format. This is just a temporary purchase. I'm not gonna keep this thing. I'm just gonna hope that Echo Bridge Home Entertainment gets to releasing the Blu-ray so I can sell this and use the money I got for this, which hopefully use the money that I sold this war to buy the Blu-ray, and Blu-rays from them are cheap. This cost me like about $10, but $10 for 20 films. Anyways, Hellraiser 3. Let me pull up some information before I get into this review. Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth is a 1992 R-rated 93-minute action comedy drama. Yeah, there's a few comedy elements from a director, Anthony Hickox. And if at first I thought that this guy done Children of Corn 3 because this guy has the similar name to Children of Corn, the director of Children of Corn 3. But I realized that he didn't do that. But it said that he done the Warlock films, the two Waxwork. I'm saying not Warlock, Waxwork, and a few shitty films. He done Sundown Vampires Retreat. I believe that's the Bruce Campbell film. Yes, it is the Bruce Campbell film. Anyways, Hellraiser 3. I like the film. With the way things originally were. I always liked Hellraiser Part 1. Hellraiser Part 1. I always had a mixed feeling about Hellraiser 2, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, but with a few recent thinking over, I like it more and more. So yeah, we get the first two. The first one I always liked. This one I kind of had a mixed opinion on, but I changed it. And Hellraiser 3 I had a mixed opinion on, but I realized that's a pretty solid film. See, with the first two Hellraiser films, they were well-made films. They were well-made horror films. They had great characters, great plot, and just ultimately were really solid films. But the whole atmosphere, and the the films in general weren't fun. They are great observations for moral understanding, moral code, and that's pretty cool. And you just got some pretty solid films. But with Hellraiser 3, I think is the only film in the Hellraiser franchise that actually feels like it. That actually feels like feels like a well-made film. That feels. All of them are pretty much a majority of them are well-made films, but it's the only one that actually has an element of fun, element of like campiness and cheesiness, and just has a lot of energy in it, and just it's the most fun out of all the Hellraiser films. Anyways, the film is about this guy who I'm just trying to keep these 31 days, because I understand that you're probably gonna watch these in groups instead of watching them in one video in one sitting, one of these in one sitting. But basically the film is about this guy who has a nightclub, and then he has this little thing that's a pinhead in it. And then Pinhead keeps on being fed souls and fed things, and then he wreaks out hell. He talks to this reporter chick. I believe that she's a reporter chick. I don't really. I just saw it today. I don't really remember because I had a lot of shit going on. I just watched it just to keep it have it somewhat refreshed in my memory before I gone ahead and done this review. And then she then she then she just gets into her conversations with Pinhead, and it was pretty solid. It's just pretty solid, and I like how Pinhead in this film shows that he has a sense of humor, and he just ultimately just he's like he's like Freddy Krueger, more like Freddy Krueger in this film, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm like, that's pretty badass. You made him into a Freddy Krueger type character, with some, yeah. You made him just basically a Freddy Krueger type character. In the first two is about him showing his victims the pleasures and pains of the world. But in this one, he's just like fucking up people. Very like he just established himself as like a 90s, like not an 80s slasher villain. And I can't believe that people don't really recognize Pinhead as like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface. A lot of people don't really put him in the bigs. I put him in the bigs. I think, yeah, and this one really proves that he can be a really solid character. Um, yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with this film. I wish for Echo Bridge Home Entertainment to get off their ass and make a Blu-ray, because I'm not a big fan of having the horrible Halloween the Curse of Michael Myers, which I'm gonna get to in about two reviews from now. Um, and repeating, double buying Dracula 3 Legacy, Prophecy 2, and Children of Corn 666, which are some films that I like. Um, yeah, but I can't wait to actually get to talk about Evil Bong 3, The Wrath of the Bong, which is included in this set. And let me count. I don't know. It's a different rearranging of the disc. I went by how the disc were set up instead of the way that the um, I set the content of the disc for my schedule. Jeff up there. I'm sorry about that. Um, yeah, but let's talk about the post Hellraiser 3. You got Hellraiser 4 Bloodline, which is a really good film. I like the film. Um, it's it's actually one. It's out of all the films where you got these slasher characters in space. I say that's the best one. It's the best one. Yeah, it's the best one. It actually provides the best reasoning for why Pinhead is in space, and it's the most logical, and it actually has a lot going for it. It has like three different setups. It has like Pinhead, and origins with the girl, and like the in some sort of some world. So that's cool. And then you got Hell, yeah, and then, yeah, it's pretty cool. Then, yeah, I got then you get in the present, then you get into the future, and it's pretty cool. Hellraiser 5, Inferno. I like the film. I like the film a lot. I think that's a pretty solid. It's my favorite. It's my favorite of the Hellraiser films. You get Craig Shepard being a crooked cop who's going around beating up drug dealers, beating up, yeah, just being a badass. And it's not typically a bad guy. And then you have Hellraiser Hellseeker, which Hellraiser in Bloodline was I changed my opinion. I had a mixed opinion about it, but I changed it to it being a good film. I like it. And Hellraiser Inferno, I had a mixed opinion on at one point, but it's my favorite. Hellraiser and Hellseeker, it's had a mixed opinion on, but I grew to actually liking it, and I think that Hellraiser Hellseeker is a pretty solid film. It's out of all of them, it's the hard most. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong, it's a good movie, but it's the out of all the Hellraiser films, it's the most hard to understand. After 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 Hellraiser Inferno, the Hellraiser movies kind of got hard to understand. And then, yeah, we got with this one you get 4, 5, 6, and then you have to jump to this release, which I got for $6. Well, 5.99, and that's a pretty solid price for this film. And I had a mixed opinion on this, but I grew to like it. And you have the beautiful Kari Wurr in the film. She's beautiful. I like her. Yeah, and this is a pretty solid film. Pretty solid film. It has a lot of balls. Has a lot of balls, and it's just a pretty solid film. Then you have Hellraiser and Hellworld, which you would think that I would like, but I find it to be the worst out of all the Hellraiser films. I find it to be a slap in the face to the Hellraiser franchise. It's not good. It's not good. It's shitty. The characters were unrelatable, and it was just generic. See, with Hellraiser 3, it kind of had the slasher vibe, but it was at least attempted to be somewhat s- somewhat fun about it. But with with Hellraiser Hellworld, you gotta go like terrible characters, and it just wasn't a good film. And it just you realize that it wasn't Pinhead doing the crimes at all. It was just Lance Hendrickson drugging them. Wow, that's a very good basis for a Pinhead movie. Anyways, I love this. I love Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. I hope that it gets a Blu-ray release. Blu-ray release. Actually, it would be pretty nice if this whole entire set got a Blu-ray release. But I'm not really a big fan of Michael Myers and Pinhead. Michael Myers and Pinhead being in a set with some fucking full moon movies, like in this set. I'm not really a big fan of that. I'm not really a big fan of Dracula 3 Legacy, which is a solid film, being in this. Some huge franchises like Children of Corn, that doesn't fit to be in a set with some shitty full moon movies. And even The Prophecy 2 with fucking Christopher Walken. This is kind of a disrespect to Christopher Walken, him being in this set with these films. But hey, yeah. I'm still on disc one in this set. I have Shackled and Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers left on this disc. Then on this disc I have Head of Family, Lurking Fear, Seed People, Sideshow, and the film that I'm most anticipating watching, because I really want to see me some Evil Bong 3, Wrath of the Bong. So yeah, and then got this disc remaining where I have The House That Would Not Die, The Haunting of Hollow Farm, Evidence of a Haunting, Seven Nights of Darkness, so that's cool, and Children Born 666, which is the only children porn film that I've seen that I don't like, and then I have a few this. Um, oh, and I don't count Hellraiser 9 Revelations, the one that's shittily made that came out a few years as the part of the series. I seriously don't. But yeah, it ends at Hellraiser 8, and hopefully we get a Michael Myers versus Pinhead that takes place after a Halloween Resurrection and after Hellraiser Hell World, despite me not liking the film, and it'd be written by Clive Barker and John Carpenter, and have Patrick Lussier of Dracula 3 Legacy fame. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.